Why don't mutations typically create helpful new information? Welcome to Critical Thinking Scan, where we look at how you can think about any faith-challenging message and arrive at a biblical, logical conclusion yourself. I'm Patricia Engler, and today let's explore the observational science of why mutations tend to destroy, rather than create, functional new genetic information. Like we saw in episode 76, it's enough of a challenge to try explaining how language systems like the genetic code could develop naturalistically in the first place, and much less communicate meaningful messages like genes, which exist interdependently with those messages' products like proteins. As one evolutionary paper asked, what would be the selective force behind the evolution of DNA's extremely complex protein translation system before there were functional proteins? And of course, there could be no proteins without a sufficiently effective translation system. A variety of hypotheses have been proposed in attempts to break the cycle, but so far none of these seems to be sufficiently coherent or enjoys sufficient support to claim the status of a real theory. The challenges compound because unlike normal sentences communicating one message, a DNA fragment can contain multiple layers of information. As geneticist Dr. Jonathan Sanford described DNA, imagine a sentence which has a very specific message in its normal form, but with an equally coherent message when read backwards. Now, let's suppose that it also has a third message when reading every other letter, and a fourth message when a simple encryption program is used to translate it. He explained that messages with multiple layers of meaning have multiple levels of constraints, or limits to what future changes are possible. In other words, they're polyconstrained. Dr. Sanford continued, "We know that misspellings in a normal sentence will not normally improve the message, but at least this would be possible. However, a polyconstrained message is fascinating in that it cannot be improved. It can only degenerate. Any misspellings which might possibly improve the normal sentence will be disruptive to the other layers of information. Because coding DNA is often polyconstrained, this helps explain why so many mutations tend to cause more harm than good. And natural selection can't necessarily weed out harmful mutations quickly or specifically enough to keep gene pools from growing more and more degenerate over time, a dilemma dubbed genetic entropy. So the evolution we observe happening isn't so much onwards and upwards evolution as backwards and downwards evolution, as mutations cause a net loss of functional genetic information. It's hypothetically possible for mutations to produce limited new information on some level, but whether that information is functionally useful is another story. To illustrate, let me tell you about the time a mutation-like typo communicated new information to me. While taking an online class one year, I had to write my exams through a local library. I'd misplaced the paper noting my exam dates, so when I emailed the library to ask when they'd scheduled my exam, a librarian replied that my exam would be March 4th, which was the next day. I spent a panicked night studying, only to realize that the librarian made a typo. She'd meant to write March 14th, but deleted the 1. That was a loss of information in that a digit was deleted. The result might be considered new information, or at least different information, because the mutated email communicated an entirely different exam date. You might even call this a beneficial mutation because it scared me into studying extra hard. But ultimately, the email lost its original meaning and purpose, which was to communicate my actual exam date. And even with this dramatic error, the email about exam dates was still an email about exam dates. It hadn't become a mystery novel or a rocket building manual or even a simple pancake recipe. That would require the addition of functional new information, which is also what evolving humans from microbes would require. So saying mechanisms like mutation can change one kind of creature into another is like saying that enough random typos over millions of years can change an email about exam dates into a multi-layered, polyconstrained rocket manual without any intelligent guidance or foresight. This illustrates the problem with claiming that mutations produce the type and quantity of novel genetic information required for molecules-to-man evolution. We'll see more on how to think through some popular examples of supposed new information next time. Meanwhile, for more on how to think critically about any faith-challenging message, you can access my other CT Scan episodes packed with tactics, tips, and tools that helped me as a Christian student at Secular University. Thank you for watching. Hey, it's Patricia here. Just wanting to let you know that if you like these videos, a free, easy way to help Answers in Genesis Canada create more content and equip more people to defend their faith is to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, click the bell, and of course, share these resources. That lets the social media algorithms help these videos reach more people who can benefit from them, saving us advertising expenses while promoting biblical authority. Thank you so much.